Football might be over for this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pro and college hoops. Hey, it's your man Lloyd Spence, and listen, from all the latest odds, totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. Here's what you got to do. Head over to the website or use your mobile devices to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BLEAV, B-L-E-A-V, to get started. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds right to the Olympic coverage. It is the best in the business. From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your #1 online wagering destination. So, it's BetOnline, y'all, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. So go to BetOnline, where the game starts.
Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Yeah. Can I make you move now? Yes, I can. So you can get this move in the back of a can. Put the big Robin World and the holes in your hand. Popcorn World. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. I said popcorn make you smile. Ah. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World.
You're now listening to BLEAV in the ACC with Heisman Trophy winner and Florida State legend, Mr. Charlie Ward, Wave 3 TV, and Fern Creek Hall of Famer, Kendrick Haskins, and Mr. Talking Noise himself, and of course, Mama Noise's man, Lloyd Spence. And now, it's time for BLEAV in the ACC. We enter today's show like proud little brothers today because our big brother, Charlie Ward, is out in these streets doing big things. He's out here putting himself in position to win state championships. And so we're coming in hot, real hot. And listen, today, there's never been a more appropriate time to hit the button.
And that was a Charlie Ward Humble Flex.
Let's go!
What did I do to deserve that one?
Man, you listen.
That's a positive one.
That's the positive one, though. Listen. Can I just tell you right off the top, Charlie, this is real. This is real talk now. I watched that game yesterday. Like, I've been knowing these kids all my life, and I'm fussing and screaming at the screen of stuff that what are you got to guard that man. Get in the passing lane. Put your hands up. I'm fussing the whole game.
You sound like a coach. You're saying the same things. But
listen, at the end of the game, I almost lost it when, I don't know who it was, maybe Dakota, didn't go over to the side where y'all in behind the ball. I said, Dakota, he's telling you, go, get over. Get over. You got to get over, man. They're trying to get you the ball. I was losing it. It was a great game. It was a great, great game. I'm so proud of you, brother. How do you feel today?
I appreciate it. Of course, we're excited about the opportunity. Very good win for us yesterday, as you saw.
Yeah.
We didn't have our best first half, but the good thing about it was the stuff that we weren't doing the first half were correctable.
Oh man.
They only scored 30 points in the first half, which is not overwhelming. We just couldn't put the ball in the ocean.
Right.
We struggled to score the basketball, and that was really one of the biggest factors in the second half was, our guys started finding that basket and putting it in there from the 3-point line, and that caught us up really, really fast. And we also started to get stops. We put bodies in front of guys. We got stops. I mean, that's been our calling card pretty much all season, but especially during this playoff run. We've been putting a heavy emphasis on defense, and unfortunately, we haven't been able to do it, for 4 solid quarters the last couple games. But the time that we did do it, it was very beneficial. As you saw yesterday, third quarter was off the charts.
Yes, it was.
Good when it came down to just the defense intensity to get us back in the game. And then the fourth quarter, we were solid as well.
So let's go back a little bit and talk about that first half, because I thought it was a little bit of nerves in that first half, because it seemed like there were shots that they were there, but they weren't taking them. And then the ones that went were like, that wasn't the shot. That wasn't the shot. No, you thought that was the shot, but that wasn't the shot. What did you as a coach learn about that moment, about your team? Do you think you said, okay, I got to make sure they understand, just do what you do? Or what did you learn in that moment?
The main focus during that time was, Coach Gregory was like, man, we're not doing this, we're not doing that. I'm like, Coach, we're getting good shots. I mean, we're touching the paint, the ball's moving, the shots aren't going in right now. And and so some of them were, some tough shots that we can't live with. But the majority of them were, just good quality shots that we just weren't making. We had point blank layups that we missed.
Yeah.
We had open, like the guys who made it in the second half, they were open in the first half and they just didn't make it.
Yeah.
And those same shots. And so, it was just one of those halves that, we just had to grind it out. We couldn't get down 20 points. That would have been tough to climb.
Right.
But, 11 was manageable. Even it would have been nice to be in single digits, but 11 was manageable. And, that was the main focus, was just keep grinding, working to get stops. And they were doing some things that we had to make an adjustment on at halftime that was killing us. They were getting weak side drives off of penetration into the middle, and we weren't handling that switch well. So we made a small amount of adjustment there to be able to take that away, and it worked for the most part.
I got to tell you, Charlie, I'm working in media is beating the fandom out of me, so I really don't get that excited about watching anybody play. Watching your team play is the most stressed out I've ever been watching this game. That fourth quarter, oh my goodness.
Oh, it was brutal. It was brutal.
I mean, did it feel like one of your games when you were with the Knicks in the 90s? Because the refs pretty much put their whistles in their back pockets for the down the stretch of that game.
Oh, yeah.
Say that again?
So did it feel like one of your games with the Knicks in the 90s? Because it felt like the refs put their whistles in their back pocket.
It was very physical. Yeah.
Yes. They let a lot of things go.
They did.
I'll say that. And like I said, as long as it's going both ways, I don't mind it. When it becomes one-sided, that's where you start to have some of the issues from a coach. But they were letting us play. We were using somebody, and they were using somebody. So it's going to take some grown man strength to play through it. And our guys are capable of doing that. Let's say we prepared for it. We practiced that way. We also, guys complain in practice. We just tell them, hey, at some point during the season, you're gonna come up against referees, and they're not going to call these touch fouls, and you got to play through it. And so I was just happy that they weren't calling touch fouls on either team or just on us. But that is, we're in the finals, so a little bump here, a little bump there. You got to play through that.
The play at midcourt was the one that stands out to me when your guy was being trapped, and it felt like he went beast mode and just ran over two people.
Oh yes.
The rest didn't call anything; they just like play on.
Now that was surely a foul. I don't know. I was surprised that I didn't hear a whistle, so I was waiting for the whistle. I think Anthony was waiting for the whistle, but he decided, not to, succumb to them just fouling him, but bullying his way through. And, like I said, that's the way you have to treat it. You can't treat it like they're going to call a foul. And so I was grateful that he didn't just succumb to, thinking that was a foul, because they grabbed the man, almost pulled him down.
Yeah.
And he was able to get through it. But, hey, it's the final.
To that same point, I almost lost my mind on that foul, that phantom foul they called on the dunk at the end of the game. I could not believe that. I was like, you have got to be kidding me. It was so unnerving yesterday.
Now,
especially all the violence they let pass before.
Right.
Yes. that was I was wondering if the man grabbed his arm or something, but he couldn't grab his arm because he tried to dunk with the right hand.
Right.
We were on the right side.
Yeah.
So I don't know where he got that foul from, because that, like you said, that's the one thing. That's one of my pet peeves. You let a lot of contact go, but then you call that where there's no contact.
Yeah.
It looks like it's contact, but you call that. And so that's why I asked him, I'm like, hey, what is a foul?
Yeah. That's a good question. That's a great question.
I always ask him that. Like, what is a foul? When they let him go, let him play?
Yeah.
So when do you decide to call a foul? Like, what is a foul now?
So one of the things too, look, this is the coach in me. You tell every player on that team, use your left hand going to the basket. That inside layup on the left side, I don't know who it was. Maybe, I don't know who it was, but he tried to put it in his right hand and sneak it in, and it got blocked. I was like, you just use your left hand.
Well, actually, he should have been going in. That was the one time that I wouldn't have minded a missed dunk.
There you go. Because you'd have fouled him. You're right.
Either that or just the aggression. They want to dunk all the time. They just need to understand when to try it. And so he kind of waited on the guy and allowed him to catch up and getting his steps together. So it's all good learning lessons for him. But I know they're a little time. Sometimes they're afraid of going and trying to dunk because of the risk of injury. Getting on the rim and coming down the wrong way through contact. So I understand all that, but like I said, it's the finals.
Hey, just show him plenty of Ja Morant videos. He doesn't care about his shirt.
There you go.
Right. You're
well,
right.
Charlie, I know you got to go. The team's coming in. We see them coming in.
We see them back there.
Yeah. Please let them know we are so ridiculously proud of them and can't wait to be watching the game tomorrow. And we're going to show the game tomorrow on our platform, 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central. But the fellas, man, we are just so proud of it. And let's listen. My birthday is Saturday, Charlie, and my anniversary is Sunday. So this is my birthday weekend. The only thing I want from you, this is my birthday weekend. The only thing I want from you this year is a state championship.
All right.
That's it. You bring that home, we'll call it even.
We'll keep working to make it happen.
All right.
All I got going on this weekend is work. I want y'all to win.
Coach Bell, come say hello. I'll say hello to our podcast partners.
Hey, everybody.
It's Kendrick.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Good morning, coaches. Listen, we are so proud of you guys. We were watching that game like we've known y'all all y'all life. So now, we just told Coach Ward, my birthday is this weekend. The only thing I want from y'all is a state championship.
We got you. Right. I mean, y'all made all my hair fall out.
I'll wave to my podcast partners.
Good to see y'all.
Y'all get that chip.
Let's go. Let's get this thing done. Let's bring it home to Tallahassee.
All right, sirs. Appreciate you guys.
All right, man. Appreciate you, Charlie.
All right.
All right, buddy. Hey, man, that game was super stressful yesterday. You weren't joking when you said that. I was like, oh, my God, I don't know these kids.
I couldn't name one player on the team.
I kept confusing one kid. I think his name was Dakota. I kept thinking he was on the other team. I was like, is he on their team? Why do they keep saying, is it two Dakotas out there? I didn't know what was going on, but I was just like, root for the team in the black. That's what I'm going to do.
All right. I was sitting there in the sports office, supposed to be doing stuff and supposed to be getting out the door to go to the other side of town to go to Valley for state champ for our girls regionals yesterday. And I was like, I'm not going anywhere till this game's over with.
It was a great game. It was a great game.
And rooting. Kids like, what's wrong with you?
It's our guy, man, Charlie Ward out here in these streets. And we know how much this means to him on a personal level. Mm-hmm. So I think that's one of the reasons why we were so invested, because
especially after the way they lost last year.
Right. So this is exciting, man. This is exciting. So we'll have the game Friday on the Noisemaker page. So if y'all want to watch it, now it'll just be it won't be on the Noisemaker page. It'll be on my personal page. So you better come friends with me if you want to see the game. That's the only way you're gonna see the game, because that's where it's gonna be. So shout out to the people that let us stream it. That was amazing. And we're looking forward to seeing that on Friday. Okay, but this is more than just our Charlie's Championship week. This is ACC Women's Basketball Championship week as well. And the top seeds don't play until Friday or the Saturday. Friday.
Friday.
Yeah, Friday. The top seeds will play on Friday. But we did get some games in yesterday. I guess you can say that the Wake Forest game was shocker, I guess. I mean, because I don't know if they were picked.
I'm still recovering from the televised assault that happened on Sunday.
Well, let's go back to Sunday. Ladies, we'll get to you in a minute, because it was kind of, it went kind of almost like expected. So it wasn't that much of a shock in the women's thing. Right. So all the good stuff happens on Friday. So, okay, so let's go back to Sunday. Let's talk about Sunday. You were there, right?
No, that game was.
I thought it was on the road. It was on the road. I'm sure. Take people through what happened.
I'll put it like this. I ran into U of L head coach Jeff Walls on Monday.
Shout out to our guy, Jeff Walls.
Yes. I ran into him. No, Tuesday. I ran into him Monday. I ran into him on Monday at a girls' game.
Okay.
After that. And he said it was the best half of basketball that he's ever seen from his team.
You have to believe.
What happened? Mildly, U of L was up 45-4 in the second quarter.
But what happened though? That's the thing I don't understand. Because I'm going back to the stats. Let's go to the stats real quick. Because normally the stats will tell you the story, but I don't know if that's true in this case.
It doesn't, because the second half U of L kind of let the foot off the gas.
Right. Well, and even in the game, if I remember correctly, because I saw an article about it, they said Louisville wasn't shooting that great in three, and ultimately they weren't, because they were only 8 of 14, so that's not a lot of threes. They got, I think, did they get out rebounded? Yeah. Well, they didn't get out rebounded. Well, they didn't get out rebounded. So they dominated on the board. So I guess that may be the telltale of the game. But it wasn't like, I don't know. It was just a weird game. All I know is I looked up and it was 41-3. And I'm like, wait, what? 41-3? Wait. What's the opponent? I had to look at the opponent twice because I was like, that's Notre Dame. Like, I don't understand what just happened.
You know, Jeff kind of said that too when I ran into him on Monday. He said, I've seen, he said, you know, I've seen that at, you know, at high school games and middle school games. He's like, but that's a team that has high school All-Americans out there on the floor. And Haley Van Lith in that first half, she had 16 points in that first half.
Yeah.
And the way she's been playing lately, she's really come on here at the end of the season.
Which is exactly what
Ainsler has been amazing all season long. And it's one of those things where you never really know who's going to be the one to blow up on you. When three of them blow up on you,
you have no shot. You have no shot to beat them.
You have no shot.
So if you're Jeff, you just smashed the number 14 team in the nation like they were nothing. But do you take that game seriously? Like, you definitely don't highlight that game going to the ACC this week. Like, do you almost have to dismiss that and say, okay, we did a lot of things right, but they did a lot of things wrong too, and we can't expect that to happen again.
I think what you do is you show them, like, this is how it can look when we play
our best, right? But
at the same time, they've owned Notre Dame the last 6 games. They beat them 6 straight games by an average of like 22 points a game.
That's true.
So
that is very, very, very true.
And so I think what you do is you show them the film is like, okay, when we play the right way, this is what can happen. This is how good we can be. But you don't hang your hat on that and say we've arrived. You still show them. You still show them the second half, even though he even said in his post-game press conference, it's impossible to keep up that level of intensity when you're up by that much. And so I think what you do is, but you show them that second half and show them the mistakes they made in the second half and just show them what they can improve upon.
I haven't seen that kind of early domination since Rocky fought Clubber Lang in the second fight. It was just like unbelievable.
Really, Clubber Lang in the first fight, because Clubber Lang beat the hell out of Rocky in that first fight.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, I'm saying, you know how Rocky came out and just started just ridiculously whooping him, and everybody's like, well, he can't keep this up. Like that's kind of how it felt. I don't know. It was a strange game. I've never seen a Notre Dame team ever. I've never seen any top college women's team who's that good fall that fast. Like, that was very strange. So
but
I don't know.
The crazy thing about it was even more crazy is that the final margin of victory was greater in the first time they played than that game.
Yeah.
They beat them by 26 here. And they only beat them by 24 on Sunday.
Well, so I guess you got to believe that they own Notre Dame, I guess. I mean,
at this point,
you hate to say it like that, but it was just like
Notre Dame like Rutgers owns IU.
Touche. Touche. Most impressed with Chelsea's increased confidence.
I think her confidence has always been there. I mean, she's a grad transfer from Vanderbilt, where she played really well at Vanderbilt. Her confidence has been there. That's just a usage thing. Yeah, they played well. She really played well in that game.
They played well, man. It's hard to beat a team when 4 people scored double digits, and I mean, they just look. Listen, what's going to be interesting to see Friday is whether or not this team was that the turning the corner game. Because if it is, then they're going to be there in the final weekend of the NCAA tournament. They're going to be there. If that team with that production shows up, they're going to be there. And especially if they get a number 1 seed. So that's the other thing I want to talk about with you. Is their number 1 seed pretty much locked in, or do you still think they got to get NC State if it comes down to those two?
I think as long as they get to the ACC championship game, they're locked in for number 1 seed. They don't have to win. They don't have to beat NC State to get that number 1 seed. I think they're locked into that.
So as long as they both get there, they're probably both going to get it. Yeah. I would think. Okay, I agree with that. Well, listen, what a game and what a tournament we're having here. Let's flip over to the men's side for a second, reluctantly.
Mercifully.
Right. Duke has secured the regular season championship to the surprise of no one.
Saturday's going to be special.
Saturday will be special because that's the final Duke North Carolina game, right?
Mm-hmm. The final game at home.
At home, and that place is gonna be insane.
We were talking about that earlier. It was like all the alumni that will probably come back for that game could probably fill that gym
from both sides.
Yeah, but even if it's just the former Duke greats, could fill that arena.
Oh yeah,
without the fans.
Yeah,
it's just
no question.
Greats that have come through there since Coach K's been there.
No question. I'm assuming College Game Day is going to be there. I have to assume they're going to be there.
Come on.
Where else would they be?
They'll probably do Sports Center from there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, but this is that kind of moment, though, isn't it? I was going to say, but this is that kind of moment, though, isn't it? Like this is like,
especially for ESPN.
I was going to say, what would be? This would be the equivalent of Bill Belichick retiring.
It's the equivalent of that. It's the equivalent of John Wooden.
John Wooden retired. Right. This is a moment. This is definitely a huge moment in sports.
But especially is a moment for ESPN for as much as they have promoted that program and that rivalry over the years.
Are you saying that there is a Duke bias at ESPN?
I'm just gonna say they really love Duke.
They really
because that
really
Duke Carolina rivalry.
Oh,
they promote that, and I'm like, that is not the best rivalry in the country.
Yeah,
outside of when they play in men's basketball, nobody cares when they play in any other sport.
You know what? To Alan's point, I wonder what the tickets are going for. They got to be expensive.
Oh goodness, yeah.
They got to be off the charts expensive, like ridiculously. Yeah, like just to sit in the nosebleeds, you're probably paying $1,000.
Well, that gym's so small, there's not nosebleeds.
That's true. That's a good point. That's a great point. That's great. You know, that brings up an interesting question. This is off brand, but why did they never build a gym?
I wanted that too.
They could have.
I was wondering that this morning, just before we came on, because I saw some video montage. Of course, they was doing on Coach K on ESPN, and it's weird. Like, why did they never build?
They could have.
I don't know, because like the one time I did go to Duke and went to Cameron Indoor, there were cranes on campus building other stuff.
Well, Duke, listen. Duke is, without question, one of the most expensive schools in the country. I mean, let's listen. It's one of the most academically sound schools in the country, and it's a blue blood. It's one of the old.
Duke's one of those schools where I feel like if you get a scholarship offer from Duke, you just take it.
Yeah, no question about it. For whatever it is. Like if they say we want you to come and do bottle washing, hey, I'm there. I'll see you in an hour. I'll be there. So I know they have money. I would think their endowment is relatively high. So, and Coach K is the draw. That's the draw. That is listen. There's two reasons you go to Duke: the academic opportunity and to see Duke basketball. That's the list. That's why you go. So I don't know. That's weird, but I guess they like the competitive advantage, maybe. That Cameron provides.
They like the student section and all that. But, I mean, it's loud And the students
I would
are right
imagine,
on top
yeah.
of you, but like
Yeah.
you can expand and still keep that. So,
Yeah, I don't know. Because isn't it like benches or something? It's like,
oh yeah, it's bleachers. I mean, it's a high
yeah,
school
it's like
gym.
a real high school,
It's like if for my people in Louisville, it's like going to Old Mill.
Yes, that's a great example. Great. Yeah, I don't know, but they never changed it. So I don't know. Maybe they will after Coach K goes, or I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird.
It would be like the way things go that they would expand the arena after he leaves.
Oh, of course, that's how it works. Yeah.
I feel sorry for John Shire having to take over for.
Oh my God!
Replacing the legend. I mean,
oh
I
my
think
God!
It's nothing against him. I think he's probably going to do a good job. But like I always say, you never want to be the guy that replaces the guy. The pressure that's going to be on him is going to be insane.
And he's got from what I hear, he's got a decent class coming in. But, geez, I mean, good luck, buddy. That's all I can say. Good luck to you. Geez, that's rough. North Carolina, and this is a great one too because North Carolina did finish second in the conference, so they would love nothing more than to spoil Coach K's regular season,
especially after the way Duke beat them in Carolina.
Right. Send them out with a loss. But I looking at the regular season now that it's pretty much over, we're at the end of the road here. Listen, Duke is the far and away best team in the conference.
Mm-hmm.
North Carolina seems to be finding its way now. Notre Dame, the box of chocolates probably fits well there.
You never know what you're gonna get, right?
Right. Yeah. And then after that, I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I keep seeing they're saying 5 teams.
Well, they're saying Duke, North Carolina, Notre Dame, Miami, Wake Forest. Virginia Tech is on the outside, is the first team on the outside looking in, although I don't think they're looking in that close. They're probably I don't even think they're last
by Louisville by 100 the other night.
Well, get in line. I mean, that's kind of where we are at this point. I guess they'll get 5. I don't know if it's 5 legitimate though that have an actual chance to win.
The one that I think Notre Dame has the pieces to make a decent run, maybe get to the Sweet 16.
Depending on what the matchups are and where you think. Yeah.
I wonder about Wake Forest. Because I mean they beat Louisville by 100 too.
Yeah.
But there was moments in that game where Louisville got their game within 6 at one point.
They did
in the second half. So I do have my questions with them. But like Duke, I don't feel strong about Carolina. Obviously, out of all of those, Duke is the only one I feel like can make a Final Four run. But even them, I'm not 100% sold on.
Yeah, I don't love Duke. Well, so let's broaden the story out a little bit as well, because that was the last thing I wanted to do. So we'll close out on that. We talked about this a little bit on the 5. Shout out to the 5 crew yesterday. I don't trust anybody in college sports right now. I don't trust anybody. You can maybe, I don't know. I'm starting to trust Arkansas a little bit because they keep getting wins.
Oh, good, but I mean, did you watch the end of their game last night?
Yeah.
They got some help.
Nothing wrong with a little help, I guess.
They got some officiating help to win that game last night.
Yeah, I guess the only thing I trust about him is that I think I trust Eric Musselman because he is not losing any game. He's not lost any game for them. He's been the reason why they won. So coaching does matter, especially in the tournament. Somebody that can make adjustments and X's and O's, and so I'm starting to trust them a little bit. TCU is interesting. They're starting to become interested. If they I'm assuming they've done enough now to get in because they have like 2 upsets now that are legit. So do you want to play them? Can they get hot? Possibly. I mean, Houston.
But I noticed you're skipping over the Harvard of the South.
And what would that be? What would be the Harvard of the South, Kendrick?
The team with the 18-game winning streak coming into conference tournament play.
Listen, I'm not skipping over them at all. I because overseas tournament's going on right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody Murray State Racers for them.
Right. Nobody wants to play them either. I'm gonna tell you something. And the last projection I saw had them hovering around that 8 to 9. That's the worst 8 to 9 matchup for anybody in the country. There's nobody in the country they can't beat if they're playing at their best.
It's amazing how they did not lose last week and dropped 3 spots in the top 25.
Well, that's the TV show part of it, I think. Because no, real talk, because I think a lot of times it sells better to these conference tournament TV games. It sells better even to the tournament itself to put a number besides teams that don't necessarily, because Purdue is not the number 4 team in the nation. They are not. Stop it. All these people that love Purdue like that, stop it. They've proven, if Purdue hasn't proven anything, they've proven that they can be beat. For sure. You bring your A game.
The thing about Purdue, though, that I think that people like, I mean, it's one of the things I like about them is they do have a good inside-outside combination.
They do. When it's clicking.
Yeah. I mean that loss the other night to Wisconsin. that was kind of fluky. But they was winning that game for most of the game. Now, I do kind of believe in Purdue, but I don't all the way because of Purdue's past. Purdue's one of those teams I have to see it to believe it.
I gotta see it to believe it, and that's exactly where I land on them as well. I fool me once, shame on me. You won't.
I mean, the same goes with the Gonzaga. I mean, I have to see them to win the championship to pick them to win the championship.
So the one thing I said this on as well with Gonzaga, that's the only one that I feel, and I don't feel great about it. If we're talking about feel good about, I'm talking about out of 100%, 61 maybe, because So Gonzaga, they don't duck anybody. They play people. So you got to give them credit for that.
Yeah, that's the narrative on them that I'm so sick of hearing. I hear
right. Yeah.
Covering one of the fan bases that I cover around here.
They don't play nobody.
As if the SEC's been this juggernaut for years. It's just good now. But Gonzaga. But the thing is they've gotten there. It's fun to watch Gonzaga's growth and watch how they built up to where they are at this point. Because when we were coming up, they were this fun little team with this crazy name, and like you've watched them grow, and like now they're getting to the Final Four. Now they're getting to the championship game. Now it's the next hump. Can they get over that hump to win a championship? It's kind of like watching a very elongated version of watching Jordan when he came along.
Yeah.
Going from getting swept in the first round to couldn't get by the Pistons to winning six straight championships. It's kind of like watching that with Gonzaga, just watching them get to each step, and now you're at that point to can they finally get over that hump and finally win a championship?
For me to pick Gonzaga again this year, because I picked them last year.
I've never picked them.
I picked them last year because I really felt like, and they didn't let me down per se. Like they got there, so I can't be that mad at them. But they just, whoa, Jesus, that thing came off the rails the night up. But I want to see them dominate the conference because they didn't dominate the conference last year. But I still think, dominate, like win by 20 every game to the end, and then coming with high momentum to make me feel, I guess, a little bit comfortable. But I'm George Bush in this thing now. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, never be fooled again. That's where I'm at. Shout out to J. Cole. So I don't know. I just don't trust anybody. I don't trust.
Yeah, there's nobody I fully trust. Because, like I said, I've watched Kentucky. I was at the Kentucky game on Tuesday night when they played Ole Miss. Ole Miss isn't that good. And they were right in that game with Kentucky, right around down to the end. And like Kentucky, they're so dependent on Sheboy that if he, and you know how it is in the tournament, they call the games tighter. He's a couple bad calls because officiating's terrible in college basketball. He's a couple bad calls, and you can't really be in trouble. But the redeeming factor about them though is Ty Washington feels like he's getting healthy. He looked pretty good. He looked like he's getting back to himself in that game, and I think he's the type of guy that if Sheboy gets into foul trouble, that he could carry the team. But this is a team that at the beginning of the season couldn't win away from Rupp Arena, and I don't know. I don't trust them. There's holes in there. Because even like that game at Arkansas, I mean, Sheboy had 30 points and 18 rebounds in a loss.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, I don't. It's like you said, there's nobody in this top 25, or top 50 that I trust to win those 6 straight games.
So one thing, shout out to our guy Alfonso Ellis, I think, or Alfonso, depending on what part of the United States you're from. Alfonso. I think I'm going to lean on his expertise in that he, the 40% from the 3, the guard play, some of the tools that he gave. I'm probably going to lean on that a little bit more this year than I ever have because it's going to take a team that can sustain momentum. And who is that? Who is that can come? Man, matchups. It's going to be a lot of things are going to have to fall in place for this year's champion. I think that more so than it ever had.
You look at a team like Illinois. You look at them on paper.
They look unbeatable.
They look amazing.
Yeah, they look unbeatable.
They can lose to anybody.
Anybody. They've done nothing to make you go, oh yeah, they're going to win this thing. No,
right.
That's not who they are. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting couple of weeks, but this is my favorite time of the year.
Yes.
And hopefully we can kick off this season again with a big time win tomorrow night. And like I said, hit me up on my Facebook page. I will have the game live, 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central. Our guy Charlie Ward trying to coach his first high school state championship. We are tomorrow. We are all Seminoles. We are, as he said, Seminoles.
That's a flex for the show.
There you go, Seminoles, as Charlie like to say.
Well, I wore my Muhammad Ali shirt because the champ is here.
That's right. That's
They're
right.
gonna float like a butterfly and sting like a bee and beat whoever they're playing tomorrow. I don't even know who they're playing.
Riviera Prep is a Miami team. I just found that out. So I would imagine they got some ballers because, it's Miami. Right.
Interstate school. Yeah. It's going to be physical.
Yeah. Which is good. That was the one thing about their game that I really enjoyed. Like, wow, the refs are really letting them play until the end. Then I was like, come on, refs, you got to call something.
I was at a girls' game last night where the refs called everything.
Oh.
And I think the teams I know one of the teams shot 39 free throws. That should not happen in a high school game.
No. No, that's terrible. That's a horrible thing. That's a horrible thing.
Every trip down the floor on both ends was either a foul or a jump ball or a bad screen. It was very hard to watch. I left in the third quarter.
Well, listen, when we return next week, we will have a brand new ACC tournament women's champion. We will be right in the middle of the ACC tournament, and we'll be right in front of March Madness. We'll be right in the thick of March Madness. So it's going to be listen, this is the fun time of the year. Kendrick will be busier than he ever has been.
That'll be the same.
About the same? Okay. All right, fair enough. Well, you might be in Lexington when we talk next. Well, on Thursday. No, you won't.
Not next Thursday. I'll be here.
I was gonna say you won't be in Lexington on Thursday. So.
I'm not there because they're in Tampa.
Yeah.
And we decided it's not worth going to Tampa because there's too much money for them. And if they win their SEC championship on Sunday, who cares about 6 o'clock?
Right. Yeah.
And we're not going to Brooklyn because sorry, U of L, it's going to be an up and back trip. So I will say that
you snatching all the hope from U of L? You snatching all of it?
They snatched their own hope. On Monday, though, this past Monday, I did go to U of L's first open spring practice for football.
Okay, how'd that go?
Well, their offensive line coach was out there coaching that day, and then the next day took another job.
You've been listening to Believe in the ACC. God. I don't know.
It's never ending.
Never ending with this team, I tell you. God, that's we can beat anybody. We're gonna have a great season. Well, you are. I'm out of here. Geez, that's amazing.
They got a ton of new faces though, and Malik's still there, and so I mean they can make some noise. I mean they were close in all their games last year, so they can make some noise next year.
Okay. No comment. Do you have any other shout outs other than Charlie? We have any other shout outs you want to give out?
Well, shout out to you. The birth anniversary.
The birth anniversary, baby. Me and Mama Noise put up 48 and 23. That's what we did. Put up real numbers out here in these streets.
48 and 23.
48 23. That's what we're doing. All right. Well, thank you,
shout
brother.
out to my folks. I don't think I did shout them out on their 50th wedding anniversary.
50?
50.
Wow, man.
You'll love this. I take them out to dinner last Friday.
Yeah.
First person I see when I walk in the restaurant, Jeff Walls.
Of course. Of course. He should have paid.
All right.
Jeff, come on, man. You probably eating on comp anyway. What's up?
All right, because I'm gonna tell you now, that was an expensive meal.
I would imagine. But shout out to the Haskins family for putting up even bigger numbers. John Morant like numbers.
50. Yeah.
Right. John Morant like numbers. So by the way, shout out to John Morant, or as I like to call him, the new MVP frontrunner.
Yeah. And how about TNT flexing Miami, Brooklyn out of that early game tonight? They flexed that out for the Grizzlies Celtics.
Come on. That makes sense to me.
A lot of that too, as much as it is Ja, a lot of that too is Brooklyn's horrible right now.
Well, but KD's coming back tonight. So
he is coming back tonight.
He is coming back tonight, so we'll be interested to see if he looks like KD. Well, that's a whole nother conversation.
He always looks like KD when he comes back, so it'll be fun. It's gonna be interesting. You talk about parity and not knowing who to trust in the NCAA. The NBA,
same thing. It's up in the air.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's up in the air for sure. For sure. All right, listen. Charlie Ward's busy, but that's Kendrick Haskins. I'm Lloyd Spence. We will be back. We are all Seminoles. We'll see y'all next week. You've been listening to Believe in the ACC with Charlie Ward, Lloyd Spence, and Kendrick Haskins. Please like, follow, subscribe, and share from the Noisemakers page on Facebook and on YouTube. And you can also listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, and wherever podcasts can be heard.